what power emanates from you? What wisdom? What see, and you even were brought in by the camera, fully in view for all of us to see you, dear Terry, with your medicine surrounding you in your medicine chair. And we will learn so much about you and your wisdom that you're bringing out into this world for all of us. So thank you everyone for tuning in and watching with me, Meilin, the Sacred Expression Show. And today, as you saw so majestically, that's the word I was looking for, majestically, with Terry Earthwind Nichols. So thank you, Terry, for being here. And it was such a magical moment finding you somewhere in this modern time of internet, even though we both are very shamanically connected to the earth. You over all the way in the US on the north continent of the Americas, and I'm here in Europe, and we were brought together, and I think we'll talk a little bit on this show about that story. This it's not even a story, it's more than a story. It is really when the universe and we two together, I think, orchestrate it to come together at the right time in our life. What do you say?
Right time, right time, very much so.
Yeah.
On my spiritual journey, people get sent to me, or I get sent to them somehow, and usually it's person to person. When you and I first met, it was completely over the internet, and it's such a blessing to be called together to do the work what we do, and yet you're almost halfway around the world, a good third of the way around the world from me. And it's like we're sitting here in the same room together. It's such a beautiful thing. Because my spiritual journey is to bring the four corners of the four nations of the world back together for world peace. And this is the instrument that will be very useful in doing that, and that's the internet. Because we can talk to anyone, anywhere. And I do that in my business as well. And we connected up via my wife, Linda Nichols, through just networking for our business. And then, boom, here we are, about a year and a half or 2 years later now. You've been to my house. I've been to your house in America. Briefly, and it is a manifestation to come visit you in Germany this winter sometime.
Yes.
It's all right, and it's all in good time, and we vibrate on many levels, high and low, together.
Yes, we do.
And when you were here, for instance, we went to a very beautiful place, the Arboretum of North Carolina, and there was a vibration there anyway. And you and I basically synchronized to that vibration. It was very powerful and very pleasing.
Yeah.
A lot of times people, I am finding, want to change their vibration because they somehow think that's going to make them happier. It's not about that. It's about becoming one with themselves. Because in Native American teachings, I'm Chickamauga Cherokee, in Native American teachings, you cannot give what you do not have. So if you do not give yourself and have love inside yourself, you can't give it. Mm-hmm. And very true to people who are trying to get married over and over and over again. They're not loving themselves, so they can't love someone else. And they attract other people who do that. So it's very interesting that we in our individual journeys, we intersect and cross paths. We remain on our individual path, but there are times where our paths will cross because together we have a job to do in a time frame, and then we move on, we do something else, and then we come back together. You and I haven't talked for a while, and all of a sudden we're in a conversation, and boom, here's this interview, you know, and it's going to go out and it's going to touch a lot of hearts out there that are searching, and that's what it's designed to do. It's a very beautiful thing that we do this work we do. It's work, but not
It's
that.
right.
It's work.
It's so much fun. It's part of me. That the moment I sit across someone and exchange my wisdom, I call it, yeah, or we co-create. We in the moment we bring up what wants to arise. I'm in joy. I'm in bliss. The more even on my radio show, the moment I sit down, boom, there's nothing else. I zone in this way. Yeah, you mentioned so beautifully how we met, and I remember we spoke for the first time 3 hours, or I think now half an hour. But next day we said we have to speak again, and that conversation was 3 hours, dear listener. And it's amazing. Was for me. Somewhere out there in the world, out of the blue, suddenly there is someone who dreams similar to me, sees the same vision, more or less about the same time, right? Maybe a few months set off, which is really nothing. And from that moment, we both saw a vision, right, Terry? We knew what to do really strongly on this earth as the embodied light being, and we grew into it, and we grew in together, and the last 2 years even we both still grow together, a little separate as you said, and then there comes something where we join, where we have information for each other, right? That is, or we feel each other when I remember I was at a seminar and you felt me and you were supporting me. One time you were somewhere, I was feeling you and supporting you. How everyone and everything can support each other. And this is really the beautiful thing to see in this world. That right, we're one mind, not that we see, but in the larger, we all can do this. And that's an encouragement to everyone out there. Do that, connect and feel the other person, even on the internet. You can feel them, you can feel right into them, you can even join them if you desire, and the other person feels comfortable enough, right, to open up. And then the magic happens when you feel almost, it's an emergence where you dance together, right, where you dance together. Or as you brought up this, it was a beautiful moment in the Arboretum. I think people were walking by us and they didn't even notice we were sitting there supporting each other with energy. We were not invincible, invisible. Oh, maybe we were also invincible. But we were invisible to them because as we were in synchronization with the wisdom of the place. So we brought what we had to bring to the space, to each other and to the landscape, and the landscape fed us. So it was really, that was a moment I will never forget.
It was quite beautiful. And I agree, when different people would walk within feet of us, they had no clue we were there. And we were sitting in an open space within like a little sitting area, very easily from multiple directions. And people were walking by us on the paths, and they had no clue we were sitting there, because they were not in our vibration. We were aware of them, but they were totally not aware of us. And even if they would have looked over there, I don't think they would have saw it. Yeah. So it's interesting. this synchronization of energies and vibrations for a single source. Like where was it, in Indonesia? I think they brought 1 million school kids to do a world peace meditation at one time.
Wow.
All massive square, 1 million little kids thinking about world peace at one time. I wonder, to this day, this is a couple of years ago, to this day, how much it changed the world in the vibration of those kids, because they're young. They have not started to gain the filters of being in the grown-up world, and so their energy is much purer than we are, because we filter a lot of what we do. So this vibration that we shared, certainly on that day, was tremendous.
Yeah, the young children, the new generations, I would call into the 20s, but they have this air about them that they know what they are. Maybe I had that as a child too, but I can't remember so much. Yes, I was out in the woods and I was a positive thinker, but otherwise, I can't remember. And if I watch my child and his friends, and they're now a decade old, but today I was in the swimming pool. Germany is full with outdoor swimming pools. Every town almost has a swimming pool, and when the sun shines, we're all there. But these young children, they have bright eyes, I mean, really large, and they look at you, and they study you. They zone in with us adults. And this is really what we're speaking about. It's not that they just glance at us. It is really, they connect, and little ones already. And I thought, wow, this is fascinating to observe. So what are they bringing? And yes, this a massive vibration that they changed something, for sure. At least it was high enough so we were able all to sync with them, even though they were far away. It's really not so far away. So they supported the change of the world, and I bet they all did it knowingly what they were doing. It was not just something they felt the need to do it. Otherwise, how do you get 1 million children together, right? So that they're comfortable, so they feel what was really happening. And that's what's so astonishing. Even now, if I look here at the children, this knowing they carry already. We had to remember many of our, for myself, remember much of my my knowing, right? Of my wisdom, what I am.
Right.
For you probably too. I don't know. Maybe you come in it out of a different setting. Maybe you were taught a little bit more as a child. But that's magical. So I can't wait what they bring all for us into this world.
Well, my teachings from a lot of sources indicate that mid-20s and younger is the next level of humanity. We're here. These kids are here. They represent that new, they're closer to enlightenment. This is the age of Aquarius, the coming together, the bringing, the oneness. And they can see our auras and stuff. I've had children go like this to me before, like, "Ooh, what are you? That's cool to do that," And the children that you're talking about, same. They just don't know how if they do discuss it with their parents. Their parents go, "Oh, don't worry, it's just the way the sunshine is," or something like that. So even though they know it's not just the sunshine, they stop talking about it. And it's our job to get them to talk about it, to get them to expand that awareness, so that, like they say that full Siamese twins can talk to each other telepathically. I believe that. and they know when each one's in danger. They get to be on the other side of the world, and all of a sudden, so and so's in danger. We've got to get a hold of her.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
And it's no. And I agree with scientists that say we use a very little piece of our brain. I say our brain is the storage center. Our stomach and our soul and our center of being is the thinking mechanism, and this is storage. This is the access place. You go in there and you walk around and you see what you need to see, and you bring it out. Well, a lot of it doesn't have lights. So as you awaken and the lights start coming on and your awareness expands, you use a lot more of your abilities. And like scientists right now are very calm in the fact that memories can be passed on generation to generation in the DNA, cellular memory, and we work in that too. And yeah, why not? I've been with people. I've witnessed it myself. One time when I was in the Navy, I was in Barcelona, Spain. I knew a shortcut back to the waterfront from where we were. I'd never been to Barcelona before at that point in this life, anyway. But I absolutely trusted my intuition to say, go down this alleyway at night. That was kind of crazy too. But just follow it because it's going to come out near where I wanted to go. And it did. How did I know? Right? Cellular memory certainly played a big factor there. And this next generation, these young ones right now, there isn't any reason why they can't talk to each other telepathically. No reason whatsoever. And some of them may already. I've seen some videos of children playing, little ones, 1, 2 years old, playing with each other and saying words like, yeah, and I don't know, but the other person's not talking, the other little child. Well, they're talking all right. One is voicing it verbally, and the other one is talking telepathically. I know they're communicating with each other because they're having a conversation. You can tell the way they interacting. They're just not aware of it.
Yeah, as you were speaking, it came up a memory when I moved with my family back to Munich after living in the US in Atlanta, right? I remember I was sick once, and a friend of mine called who had lived with me in Atlanta, knew Thilo also, who was at that time 2.5, 3, and called me from Switzerland, said, Meilin, you're sick. I said, how did you know? He said, yeah, your son telepathically told me you're sick and I need to tell you what to take. And he did that once when he was sick, not feeling well. I got a phone call. It was in the middle of the night. And I think that happened 3 times. Yeah? And then once he was able to take and type and do the telephone himself, it stopped. So you see, and that I taught other people so that they can look at their children different. Not anymore of a being that they have to be taken care of so much, but to look at as a person where we can learn from. Yeah, also all these children what can I learn? What is that child showing me? And I remember he also supported his kindergarten teacher. We're lucky he was in the Wald kindergarten in Munich. But she learned, he's not that, he's doing something else. So she had to switch around from observing a child under her care as I have to observe and said, oh no, what do they also teach me? It was a really interesting conversation. And also when I was coming, so this telepathically is going to come up more and more, I think. I remember I was in a journey, a dual journey where you journey together during a meditation. It was also over the phone. That's how I studied my shamanism for animals. But at that time we were not really working with animals, and I was here, and he said, "Oh yeah, Meilin, you're going back to Germany to support the remembering of telepathy, of usage of the telepathy." And at that time, yeah. But now it's arising more and more, because it's the remembrance, not just the telepathy between two people, because somehow you know when to call the other person. The telepathy when they need support, and you're just there as a being, you go there and support them. But it's also the telepathy back to older civilizations, and that's what I notice what is becoming more interesting to me at the moment. What do old societies that have walked this earth left information for us that wants to be in a way looked at or revitalized here in Germany or Europe, and even bigger, yeah, if we take all the countries away before there were borders. What was here? What wisdom that is interested in, for us, for the world? Because once the continents were together and there was rigor movement, yeah. What do we have? Both of us. The Native Americans, Native Europeans, the Native Asians, Africa. What is really, if we go further enough back, Terry, what is there to draw up and to remember? So this is something I have a lot of fun at the moment. And again, like things like the periscope is so fun, because you have no idea who's on. And suddenly I have people from Russia, I have from Sweden, and suddenly you don't even speak about the topic you wanted to speak about. You talk about cultures and the movement and how are people. And I've noticed people want to come together. People want to understand each other. And I think you pinpointed that prior with the cellular memories, you're supporting people in remembering them first themselves, right? Understanding themselves. I do a little bit by feeling or channeling what is in your body, in people's body, or even in my body. So we can remember and feel first ourselves, so it becomes easier, as the children did, right? Because they do it, let them draw, and they draw pictures, and they draw how they see. They know nothing surrounds an image, it's all energy and it's pure love. So we both, in a way, that's what our passion is in the world, support people in seeing themselves, feeling themselves, through feeling themselves, right?
Yes, I agree. This awakening will bring us, the result will bring us back together, closer together, because we can see, especially the younger ones, they don't understand our world. That's a great deal of their problems, and a lot of suicides are around that. They just can't figure this out. And there's not enough of us around to teach them that everything is okay. This is where the world is going, not the way it is, And, there's great knowledge that has been suppressed for hundreds of years in the Vatican and various castles deep underground and things like that, where what we call in the star nations is visitors from other planets and stuff like that, who have been here millions of years ago, and they continue to be here all the time, and there's nothing wrong with that. If they wanted to destroy us, they'd already done it. If they can come here from another galaxy, there's no weaponry we have that's going to do anything to them. They're here living in peace with us, and there's nothing wrong with that. Let it go. Just throw the fear away. We are taught fear, and we're taught greed, and how the two work so well together. Starting with major religions. My studies of the major religions they all start in peace and love. And then as they start to grow and create a movement, the leaders, being humans, start thinking they're better than humans or above humans, and they all of a sudden they need to control everybody so they can grow faster and get more money and be the king of the world. That's what the Pope's design was of the Catholic Church, to be the king of the world.
Yeah.
You know, and they even admit it. You know, that was our role early on. You know, and this the children now do not. They're at a higher level. They don't understand why we would spend so much time and energy on such petty things when there's other work to be done. And that will be the work that they will do, cleaning up our mess. And they're doing that quite well. We are, solar power and alternative energy and things like that are coming full circle very fast. And as we get better at communicating with each other, the internet and everything like that, we're finding so many lies that we've been lied to over the centuries that they can no longer hide from us because it's just out in plain sight. It's just everywhere, you know. There's a lot of controversy. Did we ever step on the moon? Maybe we did, maybe we didn't. So who really cares?
Yeah.
And
you're right. And I often think we don't speak enough, because of my observations too. If we would look as these children today were looking at me, for example, and there's an interest in in any relationship, with depths where we zoom into the person and see what is there for us, and become open to ourselves, so even don't lie to ourselves anymore. Where are the moments, or why in 1 second are we lying to ourselves, where we have tightened up, become so tense that we can't even feel? Yeah. And it's lies from the outside, yes, but also some of our inside, from that we put on ourselves as protection, probably, or because of love or safety, whatever it was. And to slowly open up to see what is really the truth. What is my truth? What is the other person's truth? Just to gaze at that. So many people don't gaze at each other anymore. I noticed that when I walk through the world, or want to hear what another person has said, that without judgment, to explore. Really, it's about the exploration of others, of other humans. And I think that is the young ones, they have that they're curious. That's why also these inventions come, different kinds of foods, or what they do with algae. They have already how to clean up the oceans. In the teens they find these solutions, right? So they're really on top. How can we do it quick and fast, because it's needed now, and because they don't have to find all that, how they've tightened and stay rigid and go. They can be so much more creative. So I invite everyone out there, if you feel tight, loosen up, loosen into yourself. Look around in your family who's willing to listen to you, or you're interested in listening to. Or with nature, as I'm looking outside at the trees, let the sun shine on you, lean against the tree, so that you find ways to open up, to expand into other things, into other people, expand yourself, to learn to understand yourself. So we become creative again. And we create our life then, ours, and what we are can just bubble out of us.
Agreed. Yeah. The new generation, this new level of humanity, no longer buys into this fear and being afraid and those kinds of things. They don't buy into it anymore. it's very powerful that these young people don't know the real power they have, or if they do know, they don't want to use it. It's not important. You know, they realize for some reason that they're here to do something, and it doesn't have to do with wars and things. They know that. They don't know what they're going to do, and they're aware of what's going on, and they're part of the anonymous movement, bringing things to light and the truth behind everything, so that we no longer are afraid of the shadow. And very exciting. It's one thing when I was being taught a lot of my teachings from my elders, Native American elders that have come to me over my time these years. They're all so excited because when they're told the story of light, or this story or that story, that is a Native American book. Right? Somebody just didn't make it up and pass it on just for fun at a campfire. It is the history, and it is the prophecy of the comings, and the different prophecies that are going on that are actually coming to pass right now. I had a gentleman just completely break down in tears and just cry and cry and cry. And I asked him, "Oh, are you okay?" And he says, "I'm just so happy." You know, it's one thing to be told these stories and it's coming. It's completely different to be told this story and it's here.
Mm.
And the stories that are coming to pass now and have come to pass over the course of the last 7-8 years globally are very exciting, because those stories started being passed down 40, 50, 60,000 years ago. And not only is the story coming true, the description of the world at the time it will come true is accurate. It doesn't take a lot of thought process. Well, is this century or is it next century? You know, if you're within a couple hundred years of what they say in the original message, you're there. You know, because the message was given in cosmic time, not human time.
Yeah.
So that which is instant in cosmic time could take 150 years in Earth time. You know, so you give up the need for now, and you embrace the acceptance that it's coming and it's almost here. You know, it's out the window, almost here. That will change your life, and it will change the vibration of the earth. And you know, there are those that are here now that they're just falling over dead. They don't get it, and they're not part of the future of humanity, and they don't have a heart attack or anything. They just cease to exist. They're dead. You know, young people, old people, perfectly healthy, no issues with them. Go to bed happy. Don't wake up. You know, their time was done. That's it. We are not. I am not here to say that we're going to turn into unfeeling beings or anything like that. I am saying that we are now awakening to being present with truth. What is not good or bad. It just is. Now that doesn't make us heartless. It doesn't make us without emotion. If you stumble your toe, it hurts. You have emotion. It's there. What we're teaching in the work that we do is Just be present with it. What were you thinking when you tripped up and got all an anxiety attack or whatever that was? What were you thinking? There's somebody there that needs to get chewed out and released from you so that their emotional bond to you is no longer powerful. That doesn't make them a soggy napkin. It makes them a very aware person so that they can be a contribution to humanity and not just another person among many. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it is something the last years is, what change do I as a human being bring more than just what is about me and my family? What is the impact I have and will have on this earth for the better? Yes, I'm here. My purpose is to experience the beauty of this earth, yeah, which is magical, and I'm since a little girl fascinated by people and cultures and animals and plants. But what is there more? How there is something emerging now, and I think many of us are feeling that is there's a bigger picture. And we're moving out, and we've been speaking about the younger, and they are already in there. But for us, we're in this transition, so it becomes very personal. So we also have a role to play. So what is that? Are we building that even now, this container, even larger, more expansive, so this younger generation can do what they need to do in the moment, yeah, with, as you said so beautifully, with compassion, no judgment. What is it? And maybe it is just the connectiveness, and just the knowingness of the connectiveness to everything. And that's everything with we are doing the right thing in every moment. Yeah. And that we allow, as you said so nicely, when we hit ourselves somewhere against something and it hurts, yes, then maybe we cry, or maybe we scream and emotion, or maybe we laugh because it was so funny. You don't know, yeah. But to bring that out and to show it, it is about showing yourself. As I said, I show myself to that tree. That tree is really it's a hazelnut. It's just like it's growing right in through my window. The sun is shining on it. It's put like his feelers are coming into me to feel me, and I think that's it. As we go out and feel each other, and to see what is and how it, then we recognize that we are together on this beautiful earth and finding the way. But I don't know what it is yet, but I'm going to be very curious, what are roles in the bigger setting. And maybe it is just as it is just in the moment when we have a beautiful conversation, everything can come up and someone is inspired or comforted by our words.
Or the simple song you chant so beautifully in a lot of different ways, in a lot of different languages. And, you and I and others like us, I think we're door openers. We awaken the awakened ones. They are awakened. They're the point where their journey begins is at that door. And we're given choice. We can either leave the door closed and not do what it is next that we're going to do. Somebody else will do it. Or we open the door. And I think what's significant for people who will see this video is know this. When you open the door disappears. There's no going back. It's only, what is past is gone. No longer, you can't turn around and change your mind like we do so easily as humans. And the majority of the people who step through the door know that. They don't care about the door. They know it's their time to walk through there. They don't know what's going to happen on the other side or why. They just know that deep inside their being, there's peace in walking through that door. What they're here for is on the other side of that door. And they have no problems walking through it. And that is profound.
I think so. Beautifully said.
When I walked through my door in 2009, there's no fear. There was no anxiety. There was no hopefulness. There was very little emotion of any kind, just awareness. And I just stepped through it because I knew I was here to go to the next flight, wherever that is, whatever that job is. And then it was revealed to me what the job was. And then I started on that journey and remain there now 7.5 years later. And in Native American culture, 7 is a powerful number. It's a holy number. 13 is another holy number.
I had to shake on that one.
Yeah.
It's 7 years since 2009. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Anyway, a lot of things have happened since then, and beautiful things, beautiful, beautiful things. And now there is another awakening. It's happening literally this day that we speak. The children that we talk about, their awakening is literally starting now, as if they were to come wake in their bed and wake up. They went to bed on the mattress. When they woke up, they were above the mattress and still in human form. And they're aware of it and they know it. Kilo talking to your friends. Mama's sick. You're sick. I'm sick. Send some medicine. Whatever it is. And Kilo don't think about it. And others like him don't think about it. It just is. It just is. Matter of fact. As if I'm going to pour another cup of coffee. It is what it is. And that makes the old world humans very afraid because they cannot control that kind of mind. Because that kind of mind does not fear. They're aware and they understand danger, but they do not walk in fear. And that's very hard to control behaviorally. Because you got to get, if you want to control somebody, you got to get enough fear going, like the fear mongering that the Muslims are under right now. If you want to control the people, you make them afraid of somebody so much that they start doing everything you tell them to do. Well, Kilo and everybody that's in their early 20s and younger, they don't understand that. They don't buy it. And it's very, very difficult to get them to change their mind, if at all. That's exciting because that world is going to get crazier and crazier and crazier. What's going on in American politics right now? The EU was, there's a lot of people all over the world who've been watching the EU for years, hoping that it would finally gel and the start of the one world concept would begin. It's not going to work. It's starting in greed based so they can control the money in multiple countries easier. It wasn't to put you all together. And that didn't work because the people don't buy into it. And fewer and fewer and fewer and fewer people are buying into it. And the EU is going to fall apart. Eventually, probably by the end of this century, we will have a new, I really hate to use New World Order because it gets a lot of bad publicity. but a new group of people that are dedicated to service of people and this planet. And that group of people will not be motivated by the implicit power that they will have by being part of that group internationally. There won't be any of that because the level of vibration and the intelligence of humans by the end of this century will be such that they don't buy that anymore, so they can't use it for them to create wars and us against them and those kinds of things.
So there's coming a sound for this beautiful vision. I feel into that too. It disappearing of borders, the disappearance of the separation. So you can't go against each other. I remember when my father told me the story. He grew up in a small town. There were no other ethnics than groups, but there were the Lutherans and the Catholics, right? And they were already being pushed against to fight each against. You couldn't date a girl from the Catholics or the other way around. And I think these things will disappear once we understand the complexity and the similarity of ourselves and in each other. And then these borders will disappear. It will just, it will come. There's a song, it's better than all these words, to move us forward with comfort, with ease, with gentleness and with tenderness or softness into that vision. Thank you.
Mm.
I think it's a beautiful place, I think, to stop, Terry, and that people stay in this vibration. And I'll thank you very quietly for coming together with me for this beautiful cosmic conversation at this beautiful moment. And we'll speak more, I know that. And also, everyone, this is, I invite you, we'll meet again with Terry on a Sacred Expression Q&A show, and I will let you know when that arrives this fall for sure. And everyone, I wish you the best until I see you or hear from you again. And Terry, kisses from Germany. Bye.
Wonderful. Bye bye, everyone.
Wonderful.